while I live, and possess the strength to resist its kingdom, and the bugs within shall not fall. So, okay, so what we're kind of seeing here is a... the original, quote-unquote, canonized ending to this game was essentially Hornet usurping the power of Grandmother Silk, right? She would become the next monarch and just carry on the structure of Farloom. And she had a conversation with the Songclave Snail about, I mean, I'm thinking about it, but there's something that tells me that that is not appropriate, and I want instead to break this kingdom free. And so we designed this entire fucking trap, and now we have Hornet instead. The people of Farloom are reflecting on Hornet. I mean, she's been a presence before, and now they're looking to her for protection. And previously, in the original game, Hornet was bitter, tsundere, kind of snappy, just, well, bitter, without any clear future or goal or attachments other than the kingdom itself. Well, she had attachments, but those attachments were bitter and poison to her at that point, to the point where she let us kill her mom just to be rid of it, right? She was kind of an anti-hero in the original game. When she comes to Farloom, she is first looking for revenge, and then hypothetically either usurping the throne or breaking the order. And she does that. But all of that is essentially done out of spite, because she was brought there against her will. There's no clear motivation for it other than progressively seeing that Farloom is fucked, and she says, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna fuck it right back. Now, however, she is realizing that she cares. That anti-hero aspect of her, just trying to get at the big guy, or trying to shed her own responsibilities, here we have her reflecting on, this is my responsibility. I caused this, and I might have the power to fix it. She's caring again. She's learning how to care. This is, you could look at Hornet, what it looks like at least here, like a journey through postmodernism. Finnick, get your scorecard up. Ads are coming up tough. So, the whole idea of the anti-hero is sort of it doesn't have its origins in postmodernism, but it was a staple of postmodernism. This idea of attaching yourself to a person that is not very good, essentially making a hero out of someone that is not suitable to be a hero. That is the cornerstone of the anti-hero. Someone who does good through no good intentions. Shitty intentions does good, which runs tantamount to pretty much, well, most other depictions of heroism that had preceded it. That makes the whole hero aspect, or the hero role, a little bit of a postmodern artifact. This idea of doing good by not wanting to do good. It contradicts itself in a way that makes it fit neatly into the postmodern worldview, where morality is silly, morality is a sham, but still we want our heroes or someone to do good and protect us. But we sort of accept the fact that who protect us should not, big bunny ears on that, be held to a higher bar. And Hornet has absolutely embodied that, the anti-heroine aspect. And she's been so fucking cool while doing it, and this is not a criticism. But here we have her actually starting to care. She's progressively started to care throughout Act 2, but her goal was still just fuck the power, you know? Burn it all to the ground. except for a few moments where she has sort of opened up, primarily with a huntress, and most in the primo primary with Lacey, where she's been, despite the fact that Lacey's been a little bit of a brat, Hornet has been kind and supportive and loving to some degree, despite beating the shit out of her and killing her. And now, when she's faced with the cataclysmic consequences of her actions, she's taking responsibility. She is permitting herself to care, permitting herself to want to do good for others than herself. And by so doing, she is sort of building a new dynasty, fascinatingly enough. She is embodying a bit of the selfish, the egotism of leadership, or the egotism of rulership. Nietzsche touched upon this a little bit. We talked about it when we were playing Control, the difference between egocentrism and egotism, while in the split between Dylan, was that his name, Dylan, and Jesse? I think it was. The brother and the sister. The brother, having been bred to be a leader, considered that the world was just his oyster to do with as he wished. He felt himself entitled to rule, while Jesse chose to take on the mantle of directorhood because she could. She had the power to. And she did it of her own volition, not for what she could gain from it, but what she could affect for the world around her. And not that we don't really have the Dylan version of that here, but we certainly do have the journey for Hornet. Now she wants to do good for others. And taking that responsibility upon herself, she is essentially making herself responsible for the entire kingdom, just like a monarch would. So hypothetically, this is just the next step of her usurpation. It's just that it required this extra step for her to see the consequences of her action, not just take the throne, remove the throne, witness the consequences of the vacuum of the throne, and then, by no intention of her own, kinda effectively rebuild the throne, becoming the new monarch of Farloom, through not want of power, which would have been the original ending, just taking the power for herself, but taking responsibility for the creatures that they're in, and taking power to safeguard that responsibility. She's becoming a philosopher king of old. She's becoming like the priest kings of Ur. Well, that the stereotype, or the mythological stereotype of the priest kings of Ur. The Marcus Aurelius, or at least the Platonic ideal of Marcus Aurelius. This idea of a ruler who doesn't rule because they feel entitled to, but a ruler who rules because they don't. There's no one else to do it. No one else will. So they have to. Because they can. It is essentially the Spider-Man of philosophy. With great power comes great responsibility. Or, alternatively, the flip side of that. With great responsibility comes the great need for power. While I live and possess the strength to resist, this kingdom and the bugs within it shall not fall. She's essentially, here in the conversation with Lacey, or the ghost of Lacey, or whatever, she is kneeling, also notice. She is taking on a vow of a monarch right now. This is the pivotal turning point at the bottom of Mount Doom, effectively, at the bottom of the world. She says that I will fix this forever. For as long as I stand, I will safeguard this place. Because why? Not because, she hasn't expressed any will to want to. She has expressed concern that it is because of her. And also her will at least, is strong enough to strive to accomplishing that vouchsafement or responsibility. And here comes the postmodern response to that, almost like the devil on your shoulder. Haha! Spider, spider, what a marvelous specimen you are. You fight and fight heedless as the world crumbles around you. Like, look at the effects. The world is falling apart and still you fight? Are you not silly? Are you not stupid? You could not possibly accomplish this. It is pointless to resist. The world's falling apart. That's postmodernism speaking. Mocking sincerity, mocking taking responsibility, mocking giving yourself to something greater than you, despite the fact that the odds are that you're going to fail. It is giving up before you even try. That is one of the philosophical one of the pieces of philosophical fallout from postmodernism. It is so unlikely that I will succeed that I will not even try. That is toxic. That is poison. That is a poison in the mindset of humanity that postmodernism has helped entrench in our hearts. This game's good. Farloom and her bugs will be crushed to dust, and still you'll be vainly swinging your blade. Vainly. Notice the adjectives here. They will be crushed, it is inevitable, and still you will fight it. Are you not silly? There may still be a way to prevent that fate. I will claim the hidden power, the bloom that repels the dark. Oh. Those snails share some fault in the snare, and their callous use of the void. They shall help me now to seek its counter. I will return, child, when I bear the strength to dive below and cut this land finally free of your mother's grasp. Vow and vow and vow. I will. I promise. And with promise is responsibility. Anyone who knows responsibility knows that it begins with a promise.